Yeah, hey guys, welcome back to this channel. My name is Ronnie. Hope you have a wonderful day. If you guys are new to this channel, I talk about a lot of things when it comes to personal finance, my personal finance, and how I go about doing things in order to achieve FIRE here in Sydney, Australia. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how important is budgeting. You know, when I was young, when I went to school, budgeting wasn't really a subject that kind of wish it was actually built in the school system. Money is not a subject in the school system. I kind of wish they do that. I kind of wish they understand that here's what you need to do when you have earned from your job. Here's what you should be doing with your money in order for you to be able to retire comfortably when you get up to the retirement age of X, whatever that would mean. At least if they have a little bit of fundamentals on what to do with money and whatnot, we probably better off. So yeah, as a single person, it might be a little bit harder, I guess, because you don't know which information that you should be engaging to. You can ask your parents what to do with their money, but at the same time, if the information that you receive from them is not in line with you, it might be a little bit hard to go against the grain. So my parents wasn't really that, I guess, financial savvy. They weren't really wealthy, and at the end of their retirement age, they weren't really well off. They rely on other people to take care of them, and I don't want that to happen to me. And I looked at that now, I fast forwarded and look at it now. It's like, okay, I know for sure that's not what I want to be. What do I have to do in order for me to be a lot better to where he was when he retired? That questions didn't get into my headspace until, I guess, in my mid-20s, or let's say, mid-20s or so. So that's after a couple of years of schooling, let's say. Now, when that happened, there's a lot of things that going through my mind. I can do the same money habits as my parents do, or if not, I can change and go against the grain and actually follow somebody that is actually a lot more wealthier than your parents do. And so don't get me wrong, like my parents, they did what their best in terms of to teach me to be to be a good person and whatnot, but financially they weren't better off than they weren't really that higher scale, let's say. So yeah, and the reason why I'm mentioning about now when it comes to money and budgeting, how important it is, I'll say it's one of the fundamentals if you want to be in a state where you choose to work, where instead of you have to work. Personal finance is one of this area. It's a little bit of grey period because nobody really teaches you this at a young age. So what do I do in order to see my children anyway, for them to be financially wealthy? They're at the age of 4 and 5, and we started this, I guess, little drip and drops of information in their mind. So hopefully by the end of their schooling years, they're able to make I guess the correct decision when it comes to their money. But in order for me to do that, we have to pretty much implant it in the brain, in a sense, implant it everyday activity, to understand how budgeting works. It's a work in progress. It's a non-stop work in progress. When we go to schooling, let's say, when you start, when you're going to be finished. When you read a book, when it starts, when it's going to be finished. When you go to work, what time you start and what time you're going to be finished. But most people don't look at it as, what do I have to do in order to achieve retirement at a comfortable dollar figure, say. no one looked at it that far ahead. I didn't look at that far ahead until recently. Until I realized, oh, one of these days I am going to retire. Do I have enough money to do that? What do I have to do in order for us to achieve that? It all comes down to budgeting. Money skills, it's an everyday stepping process, let's say. It's very daunting. So at a very early age, with my children anyway, I've started to implant it in their brain that you have to invest. You don't spend the whole entire of your income, for doing the chores around the houses and whatnot, from the income that they have. They start with a small habit. I'm trying to inbuild that with them. Like if you're just starting point right now on your, taking care of your personal finance, it will be a struggle. It would be a little bit difficult, a little bit odd, against the grain, and it feels like this is not normal. But I realize if it feels not normal, you go in the right direction, let's say. If you budget it correctly, you do it regularly enough that it will break the habit somehow. So, for example, myself, we do it once a month to look at an overview where our income is, or where our money is. And every day we make a conscious decision what to do with our income, what to do with our money. We do exactly the basic techniques of it. We don't spend the whole entire of our income. We try to invest. We do spend, and we try to save it as well, in case of a rainy day. So having an emergency fund, invest on your retirement, whether it's from a super or a different avenue if you're self-employed, and those things. If it's not inbuilt with you guys at a young age, or if it's not inbuilt for you at earlier stage of life, kind of scared that it might be a bit too late when you get to your retirement age. So, and that's how, when I started this personal finance budgeting, it was difficult to go through the whole entire process. It was a little bit daunting. How do I go about doing this? How can I take care of my bills? How come I don't have enough money to do this, X, Y, Z? It was really daunting until you're able to take care of your expenses. There's gonna be a lot of, I guess, disagreements in a sense between your belief system and the way you do things, because we don't believe in using a credit card, for example, whereas some people do, and we look at a credit card is bad. Well, some people say no, it's not, it's a good thing. So there's a lot of those misinformation here and there. Now, how do I go about going through all of this information? Well, the first thing is do one, and if you can do one, and if that feels good, then if that feels correct, then do the same one over and over again. For example, in our budget, we'll never want to use a credit card, for example. How about live on a debit card? It has the same functionality, except you're using your money instead of someone else's money, and there's no yearly fees, funnily enough, because you're using your debit, which is your money. Like those things it took us a while before we get used to it. I mean, I must admit, I used to have a credit card, and that wasn't really fun when you're paying an interest. If you're used to having a credit card, if you're used to having an expenditure a certain way using a credit card, then changing that to a debit card alone, that might be a little bit of a struggle. Then the other one would be, let's say, if you have to split your money in 3 ways, one of them for daily expenditure, one of them for investing, and the other one would be in saving. Those are the three fundamentals, what we do, what we teach with our kids. When it comes to money, we always just split it into three ways. Every aspect of your income has to be split into three ways. That's just our principle anyway. One of them is saving, one of them is investing, and the other one will be spending. It doesn't matter how much in those three, if you can, obviously, as long as all of those area has to be filled with your income somehow. So yeah, and that's how we teach our kids right now. Daunting in the beginning, but over time, gradually, it will make sense, and over time, you will get better at it. And if you don't like it, having a budget, you don't have to do it. The way I look at it is, most businesses, they have a plan, they have a budget for a certain elements of the business, whether it's marketing, sales, raw material, the whole entire aspect of the business, let's say. If they do, you should have a budget on your personal finance, what you do when you receive your income, when you receive your sales, what are you meant to do. So yeah, is it very important? I think so. Is it very important for each individual, family, looking at your future, let's say for your children as well. That's one of the fundamentals in order for us anyway to be able to live financially free, and we don't have to work, we choose to work, and creating the lifestyle that you wanted to have. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents, guys. Hopefully you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.